A very good evening, this is Notepad. I am Hafiz Marzukhi, and this episode is a little bit different because we are here at Edotco's booth in Langkawi International Airport, where earlier we've been given a tour of the 5G demonstration sites by Edotco. And this is important because if you could see at the MIER research, it projected that Malaysia is expected to be contributed 12.7 billion ringgit for the next 5 years. And with me to discuss this further about the potential of 5G in Malaysia is Edotco Malaysia's Managing Director, Wan Zainal, Adileen, Wan Puteh. Thank you very much, Wan Zainal, for being with us. So let's start the ball rolling. First of all, we want to know, what is Edotco's role in this 5G demonstration project?
Okay. Edotco Malaysia, we were chosen one of the parties to take part in MCMC's 5G demonstration project. And in this demonstration project, we deployed a 5G private network at the airport with our partners, and we also deployed some use cases for the use of smart airports. So alongside with our partners, there's few technologies that we implemented.
Okay.
And here today, we can safely say that the project has been successfully implemented. We have this 5G network up in Langkawi International Airport.
What kind of solutions do you install for this demonstration?
Okay, basically we installed a full-fledged private network. A full-fledged private network and all the elements that is required for putting up a private network. We also implemented a transmission network, or what it is actually with our partner an air fiber solution whereby all of the network data is transmitted back to the backbone of our international backbone via a technology, a millimeter wave technology of air fiber of our partners, and which achieve up to 10 Gbps. Which is by standards very high.
That is roughly, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's about 10 times what we are experiencing right now.
Basically, it's about 10 times. In terms of speed that we got in the airport as well, we got achieved up to 1 gig in terms of browsing speed. And where one of the use cases here in airport, we also provided wireless broadband, which is basically Wi-Fi to the public. And that in itself, we have achieved up to 600, 700 Mbps.
Okay.
And that's really high for in comparison.
That is an interesting number, especially for in the age where everyone uses internet. So my next question is, why Langkawi is chosen as the demonstration site? Why it's chosen as the pilot project?
Right.
For 5G?
I think our MCMC has plays a major part in identifying Langkawi as the venue. But in my view as well, I think Langkawi as a test bed, I think it is a perfect in terms of location, in terms of the economy around Langkawi. Right, it has a lot of visitors. It has an international airport per se. And then I think to have a test bed, I think to have it in a closed domain environment, I think that is really good.
Okay, now we are talking about demonstration and pilot projects.
Yeah.
How soon do you think that the infrastructure will keep up to provide 5G to the masses? I mean, what are the issues? Is it investments? Is it infrastructure? Could you probably shed some light?
I think our regulator has charted out a timeline for this. I think it was out in public that a statement made by MCMC that they are targeting Q3 next year as a timeline where they want 5G to be rolled out. And before that, of course, there are some steps and process that needs to happen. In my view, the 5G technology in itself is available. I think in terms of terminals as well, we're starting to see manufacturers are starting to announce the launch of their terminals, meaning handphones that will be made available to the public. In other countries, 5G has been rolled out, meaning to say the technology is there. I think for Malaysia, there's few processes that needs to go through. I mean, and I think it was made public that there's some plans and there's a need for us to have the spectrum allocation done, and then within this spectrum allocation, parties to be involved in the implementation. So that needs to be decided, and then of course within the parties who have identified to implement, there will be a go-to-market strategy that needs to happen. Where and how this 5G rollout is going to be rolled out in Malaysia. So I think those process has been charted out. So
we have to wait and see. But here's where I want to get your opinion.
Yeah.
Of course, there are some quarters who think that Malaysia is a bit too early to implement 5G. But what's your opinion? Because at the same time, we are hearing China is starting work on 6G already. What's your take on that?
Well, I think 5G in itself, if you look at the use cases, a lot of it is for enterprise. To provide this level of infrastructure will benefit the enterprise, the manufacturing, that will propel us and be ready for Industry 4.0. I think that's in broader sense. In my view, this adoption needs to happen, and at some point, of course, the implementation or the take-up will probably take times in phases. But I think in timeline-wise, and do we need to do it today? I think we ought to be doing it.
I think it's better sooner rather than later.
If you were to make it that way, it's rather sooner rather than later. And I think if we as a nation have all the resources and we getting all the support from the government, the regulators, and technology, mobile operators are all ready, game for it, and you can see it from the 5G. This 5G implementation of the demonstration project, where we see everyone is passionate about it. So with this passion, I think we just should ride on it and do it.
All right, we're going to take a break for a moment. We're going to come back after this and talk more about what can users expect from a smart airport. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Notepad. I'm here with Edotco Malaysia's Managing Director Wan Zainal, Adileen, Wan Puteh, and we are talking about the 5G demonstration sites here in Langkawi and the potential it could bring to Malaysia. So, Wan Zainal, maybe we can ask, the next thing we should ask is what are the expectations of users from a smart airport? Maybe you can share a bit.
Okay. In specifically to the 5G rollout for 5G demonstration project test that we have done here, so there's few cases that we implemented. Number one is of course the public Wi-Fi. As mentioned just now, based on the 5G technology riding on it, and we convert it to broadband wireless for users, you can expect that the Wi-Fi speed for the consumers of the retailers here will be much higher. The usage for the masses as well, they will get a much higher speed, so that's one. And with that infrastructure also, it propels also use cases specifically for the airport to provide, to ride on the infrastructure to implement some of the solutions that's available. Okay, for example, here in Langkawi, we implemented the asset tracking. right? So asset tracking.
I guess you are talking about real-time asset.
Real-time asset tracking. So we have beacons around the airport. We have also a tracker that installed in the trolleys, one example. And then, of course, in Langkawi, the size-wise, it is not as big as International Airport of KLIA, for example, right? But we have demonstrated here whereby the airports is able to track and see where are the trolleys within their vicinity, right? In the smaller domain here, they can see and track, and then they just imagine for KLIA or much bigger airports, they would know where their assets be.
I guess this solves the problem of people leaving trolleys haphazardly.
That is one of it.
And it will also increase the efficiency, I presume?
Correct. Efficiency with regards to, and they're just trolleys, and it could be, you can extend it to wheelchair, it can extend to any other assets that they want to track.
I see.
Right? Here we also implemented the air pollution, although we don't have air pollution in Malaysia doesn't change as much. I think it is one of those where
it has a baseline.
It has a baseline, and then when everything goes well, you say that you might not need it. But if something goes terribly bad, it's something that we would say that I wish that we have a tracking system to see the quality of air in such vicinity, right?
I see.
We also implemented a security-based types of system whereby we do face recognition. Face recognition in this upcoming demonstration project on the 20th of January. We plan to have a person with a camera while walking around, and on a real-time basis, that solution using the 5G technology infrastructure is able to detect whether this person is on a white list or a black list. Right?
Okay.
So we have seen in airports whereby there's pictures that you will are given to the authorities to say that these are the wanted lists, or so-called. But now we can do away with that. We are able to scan a person, and they will see there will be a probability whether this person is true the identity of the person or not.
Okay.
So we're implementing that, and taking that as a cue. There's other use cases that is able to we can able to implement in such vicinity like airports, ports, or other industrial areas.
So all these examples that you have demonstrated to me or tell me shows that the industry application for 5G is really big compared to 4G, because we're talking about the Internet of Things and stuff. What do you foresee? How will this affect the industry? And you said earlier that it will be beneficial to how will it benefit businesses and the industry?
Okay.
5G.
I think number one, before we talk about that, I think it is important to note that why now it's going to be possible for the industry. Right. One of it is which plays the biggest role is, of course, latency of the network, and also the speed of the network that is available for the industry to take benefit from. Right. So I think I think there will be time where the industry will adopt this and will.
I mean, the application for 5G is like so wide. You see, like this go from security to it's just a business of data, which will help. I'm sure businesses and industries to probably tailor-make their content. Do you agree with something?
I agree in that sense. But of course, adoption is one. And talking about why would people adopt this is that the operational efficiency that this will bring to the corporates, right? Like taking an example of the trolleys as small as use case as it seems. But now the airport authorities will not have to
lost trolleys.
That's number one. They also can deploy resources that they will be using to using to relocate all these trolleys, and they can be assigned to
Do
doing
other things
as well.
because time equals money.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
all this shows that there is a need to probably scale up the adoption.
Yeah.
So how does Edotco plan to leverage their ties with the other telcos in order to get more people to adopt in the future 5G, this technology?
I think Edotco, as you know, is a telco infrastructure company. We work very closely with the telcos. I think where our role would play in the implementation of 5G right up to the use cases is to assist or to be part of the infrastructure rollout, right? So we will be working very closely with the industry, with the MNOs, and then and working with also with the parties which is involved in deploying the use cases, right? So I think we will still be at the infrastructure, meaning to say backbone of providing towers, and we were looking into providing antennas as well. We're looking into doing the transmission as mentioned just now, and then we also some roles that we can play is also in the private network, whereby if so happens that individual industry or location, for example, industrial area, ports, or in this particular case airports, if they would like to deploy a private network for specifically to use in their operations, we also can look into that. And then of course working with partners here in itself also, we brought in a few partners where they brought in their face recognition, asset tracking and all that. So I think in essence is that it is working with the ecosystem, and with regards to focus, I think Edotco will still remain in the infrastructure play.
All right, exciting times. I guess it's time for another break.
Sure.
We'll come back with you after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Notepad, and in this episode we'll feature the Edotco Malaysia's Managing Director, one Zainal, Adileen, one Puteh. So and we are talking about the 5G demonstration sites here in Langkawi. So the next thing that I should ask is Edotco looking to implement this technology in other airports?
In short, yes. We are looking into implement this in other airports. Of course, it will be great to have all the airports in Malaysia. That will be our vision, I suppose. But we will be working very closely with the MHB and to see the feasibility. And apart from airports, we're also looking into possibly implement this in other industrial area should there's a need for 5G private networks.
So far, has there been any plans for other industries at this moment?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment, but I think conversation is starting.
So talking an extension of that would be, what other 5G infrastructures that or 5G infrastructure technologies that Edotco have deployed so far?
Oh, okay. So we call it as a 5G readiness. Internally, we call that a 5G readiness project, where we embark internally. So there are a few things that we have started doing. One of which is the multi-tenant small cell that we implemented in KL Central.
Okay.
Right. So that has provided a higher speed for the consumer in KL Central. And what's important there is the element of sharing within the infrastructure that we provide. So I think we foresee, with the implementation of 5G and also the aspiration of MC, the regulator as well, that he wants to see more of sharing, and the fact that they have chose the consortium route is to promote more of this. So that's that. And then I think we also has looked into the street level as well, street level implementation, whereby we also implement smart poles, lamp poles in KL as we foresee rolling out a 5G for the coverage in urban areas.
No. On that thought, that's very interesting because when I was first exposed to the concept of Internet of Things, naturally we go to think about how do we solve traffic jams, and I'm sure that 5G would help towards probably eliminating some of that. What's your take on that?
I think I'm sure there is a solution companies who would have solution to provide some level of extended intelligence to solve the or predict traffic jams and all that, right? So, but I think some of this solution will require a base infrastructure of 5G, right?
And that's where you come in.
That's where we come in. So, anticipating that, so we know that there will be also a need for boosting the coverage in urban areas. So we can't be putting up big structures, red and white structures, right middle of town. So we're working a lot on lamp posts. We're looking a lot on camouflage structures whereby 5G equipments can be installed. And like for example in Penang, we implemented a bus stop, a smart bus stop, whereby we converted a conventional bus stop and make it into a servable telco infrastructure around it, where we provided small cell, we provided Wi-Fi as well, bringing the coverage into street level. I think those are some of the things that we are doing, Edotco are doing, to prepare ourselves whilst we planning to roll out 5G in the near future.
All right. So what you said just now just jumpstart something in me, because earlier during the tour,
Sure.
I was told by one of your engineers that when you talk about 5G and 4G, in terms of the physical infrastructure, 4G has a longer range,
Right.
but 5G has a shorter range.
Right.
How does Edotco plan to? I mean, how do you plan around this? Because that means more infrastructures that supports 5G,
Correct,
and that will create, I would say, more masses
Right.
of telecommunication towers.
Right.
How do you intend to solve that?
Well, putting up structures in Malaysia requires a few process, right? So we require landowners to agree. It requires permitting for us to put up the towers, and of course within the permitting, that's where the requirements of you need to be aesthetic. You gotta be. You need to comply to certain regulation. So those are the parts that I was just mentioning just now. So how are we preparing is that increasing our catalog of structures by using towers, normal towers, we're doing lamp pole, we're doing bus stop, we're doing even signage to convert into a smart, so-called smart way of implementing this radio network of 5G. So we're preparing all this by number one is getting our catalogs, expanding our catalogs, working with regulators, working with the local government as well. And I think it is very important for us to educate them and saying that this is while we going into 5G, this is something that is required. And then somehow or other, if they want this level of this technology to be implemented in this area, they need to facilitate, right? So that is this engagement is also as part of 5G readiness, I would say. And then of course we also require funds and investment and that will encompass all that is required. So there's a lot of work to be done, but yeah, I think we're ready.
A lot of work to be done, but of course, exciting times
Yes,
ahead
of
for
Malaysia.
Malaysia.
It's very exciting time for the industry as well.
Yes, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Wan Zainal Adileen Wan Puteh. There you have it, the Edotco Malaysia's Managing Director. That's all for this episode. See you next time. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. Good night.